Hello everybody, this is John from workoutandtravel.wordpress.com. Today I'm going to talk about, do you need cardio to get ripped? And that is a good question. Actually, if you can see, I'm a little bit sweaty. I just left Prospect Park. I don't know if you can see it in the background, it's actually my favorite spot to run in New York City. I like it a lot more than Central Park. If anybody tells you Central Park is the best place to run in New York City, they are lying. Of course, that's probably subjective as well, but I like Prospect Park. It's to me, it's a lot easier. It's not as crowded. It's just one loop around the park. You don't really have to zigzag like you do in Central Park. Although Central Park has a lot of circles too you could run, but it's a little bit more complicated. So the question is, do you need cardio to get cut? And my answer is, I would say yes, although it is subjective. I really hate to give blanket advice when it comes to bodybuilding because, you know, everybody has a different body. Everybody has different genetics. Everybody has a different disposition. You know, something that might work for you might not work for somebody else, it really annoys me when people give blanket advice. And that goes for everything. Diet, cardio, weight training. You know, I read a lot of articles saying that you're related to carbs, like you really shouldn't have potatoes, you should try to avoid bagels. But, you know, for me, to be honest, I eat potatoes and I feel fine. I don't gain any weight off it. I have a lot of energy from it. So, you know, don't take all the advice that you receive as necessarily true. You really need to test it out for yourself. But, you know, to answer your question, I believe you need cardio to get cut. I do, at least, especially if you're natural. If you're on a lot of steroids, I'm assuming you could probably get pretty cut without really doing extra cardio. But for people like me that are natural, I don't even take any supplements. I really need cardio to get cut. And for me, that consists of mostly tempo runs, which for me would be 2 to 4 mile runs. I'll do maybe 3 times a week. I like to add a sprint day because I think sprinting is very important for getting cut. If you look at the Olympic athletes, just compare the physiques from the sprinters to the marathon runners, which I don't even necessarily believe is that healthy, the marathon runners, but I'll get into that in a different blog post. But yeah, that's it. 2 to 4 mile tempo runs. I try to run between a 6 and a 7:30 per mile pace, depending on what shape I'm in. Today, I'm just coming back from injury. I ended up in a hospital last week. I needed stitches. So I missed a week of training. So today I ran about a 7-minute mile pace. I was a little bit tired. It's about 102 degrees in New York City today. It's a little bit cooler in Prospect Park, which is why I like running here. You get a little bit of shade relief. And it's also, part of the trail you could run on dirt, which is easy on your legs, which is what I like a lot. But for the years that I've been in my best shape, the years where I had my lowest body fat percentage, I was definitely doing consistent cardio workouts. The key is you just can't overdo it. If you overdo it, you're going to become skinny fat. Skinny fat is where you're really skinny, but you still have a ton of body fat, which is unfortunately what a lot of long distance runners become. When you do that long, slow distance, you end up burning off a lot of the muscle and you kind of hold on to the fat, which is the opposite of what you want in bodybuilding. So, and I also highly recommend you do the cardio after you do your weights. You never do it before because you need to lift as heavy weights as possible to build muscle. So if I go out and I run 5 miles in Prospect Park and now I go to bench press, I'm not going to be able to lift. I'm going to be a lot weaker and it's almost like you're wasting your time. So that's pretty much my routine. I'll hit the weights first and then I'll go for usually a tempo run, 2 to 4 miles. Once or twice a week, I'll add sprinting. More in the summer and spring, I'll add it. In the fall and the winter, I don't add it as much. I probably should. And sometimes I'll add a long day, like on a weekend like today, if it wasn't so hot, maybe I'll run 5 to 6 miles. But besides being cut, you should add some cardio to your routine anyway. I mean, heart disease is the #1 killer. I don't know if cancer passed it. They're kind of neck and neck, but, you know, especially for men in the U.S., heart disease is a major problem. So you should be trying to add some cardio anyway. And if you don't like running, and I know a lot of people don't like running. Running is funny. You either like it or you don't like it. You can't really force somebody to get into running. But I would try an alternative. There's nothing wrong with doing the bike. When I do the bike, I don't get as cut. It's still good. Still good cardio. Rollerblading is great. Swimming, it's a little bit slow. I like biking and rollerblading better, but that's also good. What's even better is play a sport. If you're into tennis or basketball, you're gonna get ripped. You know, I used to do that sometimes when I get a little burnt out from running. I'll just go down to the park and play some basketball. I mean, that will get you cut. And it'll get you in shape too, especially, you know, you really have to do quick movements and jumping and sprinting. You know, that's a really good way to get in shape. So, my official ruling, do you need cardio to get ripped? In my opinion, I believe you do. It's subjective on each person. Each person is different, but for my body at least, I don't really get cut unless I'm in really good cardio shape. Thank you.